This is the L2C Media Network on YouTube, and this is Steve Baxley's Sports Final. We're a little late, but then again, it's Sunday night, and we're sponsored as always by the L2C Media Network. Now, with all the headlines that make for the stories on a beautiful, cruddy Sunday, here's Steve. Boy, oh boy. Somebody woke up off the wrong side of the bed. And yes, the hair is getting longer. Would you like to see proof? I have grown more hair. I am now Flabio. Anyway, welcome everybody to our little prod. Yeah, our little prod. It's our broadcast. How you doing? And we got a lot for you tonight. That's why we're starting a little late because we wanted to get it all in. Now that we're here, let's do it. And leave us to do it. We do so well. We got our Sunday night football, and it was a rainy night in Foxborough. A rainy night in Foxborough. Oh, yeah. And, oh boy, I kind of liked having the Masters on in the morning. It smelled like victory. Speaking of smelling, here's some headlines we're going to go into detail with. First, let's give you a little NBA for you. And here we go. Looks like they're breaking up. The champion Lakers, at least one of them, has said bye bye. Los Angeles Lakers star Anthony Davis is officially opting out of the final year of his contract and will become an unrestricted free agent, according to Chris Haynes of Yahoo! Fans of other teams should not get too excited, as this is just a formality, and he's expected to re-sign with the world champion Los Angeles Lakers for a long-time deal. The league's transaction moratorium will be lifted on Monday, and free agency will officially begin on Friday, 2 days after the 2020 NBA draft. Now, with such a short window between free agency and the start of training camp on December 1st, it shouldn't take long for two sides to come to an agreement on a new contract, especially since this has been in the works for months. At this point, the only real intrigue is whether Davis signs a full 4-year max contract to get as much guaranteed pesos as possible, or whether he signs a somewhat shorter deal in order to give himself more flexibility. For what it's worth, LeBron James's current contract will end in 2022, assuming he doesn't opt out after next season. Now, if he wanted. That is, if he wanted. Davis could sign for 2 years in order to put himself on that same timeline. Either way, the Lakers are well positioned, yes, they are, to be title contenders for the next few seasons. You think? With Davis and LeBron leading the way, despite some initial concerns about how the pairing will work, the superstar duo led the Lakers to championship in their first season together, defeating the Miami Heat in 6 games inside the bubble of Orlando last month. Now, that was Davis's first ring, and it came in what was really his first deep playoff run. He handled the pressure just fine, putting up 27.7 points, 9.7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.4 blocks per game in the postseason, all while battling a number of injuries. Now, along the way, he also delivered a signature playoff moment, hitting a buzzer-beating three-pointer to beat the Denver Nuggets in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. The Lakers are expected to be busy this offseason as they adjust to their roster around the fringes. And they've already agreed to trade Danny Green in their first-round draft pick of this year to the Oklahoma City Thunder in exchange for Dennis Schroeder. But whatever other moves they make over the next few weeks, none will be as impactful as re-signing Davis. Let's keep going. And going and going and going. Anyway. And let's get going here. We got something from college football. Then we'll go into pro football. So here we go. Well, the Gamecocks did something unusual. They lost 14 of the last 20 games under Will Muschamp, and now they fired him. That's right. The Gamecocks start 2-5 in his fifth season. Less than 24 hours after his team fell 59-42 to Ole Miss, South Carolina said, "Arrivederci, Will Muschamp." The program announced on Sunday the Gamecocks are 2-5 in his fifth season. Muschamp was hired by South Carolina in 2016, 1 year after he was fired by Florida. He finished 28-21 in 4 seasons with the Gators and compiled a 28-30 record with the Gamecocks. Muschamp did lead South Carolina to a 9-4 mark and Outback Bowl win in 2017. But the program has lost 14 of its last 20 games dating back to the 2018 Belk Bowl. Now, once one of the top defensive coordinators in the nation, Muschamp led defenses at LSU, Auburn, and Texas throughout his career. Florida hired him with great acclaim out of Texas when Muschamp was the coach in waiting behind Mack Brown. Unfortunately, the Gainesville, Florida native did not work out with the Gators, and South Carolina decided to give him a second chance in the SEC East after fellow former Florida coach Spurrier retired. Muschamp will likely look for another head coaching opportunity, but could land softly and richly as a defensive coordinator at a top Power 5 program if he so chooses. I understand there might be an opening in Michigan. Don't quote me on that, though. His buyout with South Carolina is believed to be approximately 13 to 15 million. Now, the Gamecocks will begin their coaching search immediately. And, wow. Can't wait for that. Can we? Okay, going. More National Football League reportage as we do. Here we go. Get ready for the fun. Here we go. This is going to be fun and exciting. The scene, Cleveland Browns had a 10-7 lead over the Houston Texans with 1:07 remaining in regulation. Running back Nick Chubb, in his first game back from a knee injury, took his final carry of the game, ran off tackle to the boundary, turned the corner, and found daylight. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling down 59 yards as no Texan defender could catch him. The issue? Well, the end zone was 60 yards away. Chubb intentionally stepped out of bounds at the 1-yard line with 56 seconds remaining, despite 0 Texan defenders standing between him and his second rushing score of the afternoon. Houston was out of timeouts, and Baker Mayfield was able to kneel twice to run out the clock. Fantasy implications aside, Chubb's selfless decision will inevitably cost someone a fantasy win in Week 10. The Browns have been 3.5-point favorites over the Texans for most of the week. Had Chubb stepped into the end zone, as most running backs would have been apt to do, Cleveland would have easily covered the spread. 5 of 8 CBS Sports expert projected the AFC North franchise to cover a 3-point spread earlier this week, so they pushed. Now, from a gameplay perspective, it is the type of heady decision that the league has come to expect from the third-year running back out of Georgia. Cleveland would have been a 2-score leader if Chubb had run into the end zone, so the risk was low that the Browns would go on to lose, but he removed all chance by allowing his team to run out the clock. Ah, yes. We will talk more about that a little later, I do believe. In the National Basketball Association, more NBA news. Sad news from the Cavaliers' standpoint. Cleveland Cavaliers guard Kevin Porter Jr. was arrested early on Sunday morning in Ohio on a gun charge. Shocking, yes. Ohio State Highway Patrol responded to a single car crash, at which point Porter was arrested, though he was neither impaired nor injured in the accident. A booking document obtained by Cleveland.com stated that a loaded firearm was accessible to any operator or passenger without leaving the vehicle. Porter was later released after posting a $4,000 bond. The Cavaliers released a statement Sunday following the incident, saying, of course, we are aware of the situation involving Kevin Porter Jr. and in the process of gathering information. We have spoken with Kevin and will continue to address this privately with him as the related process issued no comment. Now, Porter's attorney also released a statement saying Mr. Porter was issued a summons for a petty offense and released. We are gathering info and we'll have further comment at a later point. At this point, no information will be available about the arrest, and Porter does not appear to be facing any serious consequences. Now, Cavaliers, one of 8 teams not invited to the NBA bubble this summer, have not played since March. They are set to begin training camp on December 1st, ahead of the 2020-2021 NBA season, which will tip off on December 22nd. Oh joy, oh rapture. The number 30 overall pick in last year's draft, Porter averaged 10 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 2.2 assists in his rookie season. That's right. Okay, and that is your NBA thing. We do have one sad note beyond that to report on. And it is sadly, no, not that one. There we go. Football has lost a pretty decent coach. The University of Tennessee at Martin's men's basketball coach, Anthony Stewart, who was slated to begin his 5th season at the helm of UT Martin, passed away on Sunday. He was 50 years old. Stewart's passing comes as the team was slated to open its season later this month. He was preparing to enter his 5th season at the helm of the Skyhawks program. The cause of Stewart's death at this time is unknown. Stadium reporter Jeff Goodman, that's Stadium Network's Jeff Goodman, reports that he had tested negative for COVID-19 this past Monday. Stewart took over as UT Martin's coach in 2016 when he was promoted from associate head coach to succeed Heath Schroer in his debut season. He guided the Skyhawks to 22 victories, equaling the school record for most wins in a single season. That season, the Skyhawks won their first ever outright Ohio Valley Conference West Championship. Martin began his athletics career as a basketball and baseball player at Mount Union in the early 90s. In the beginnings of the new millennium, he paid his dues as an assistant on the small college circuit at Columbus State and at Long Beach State, before breaking through as an assistant at Wyoming in 2007. He then made stops as an assistant at Southern Illinois, Ohio, and UT Martin in the years that followed before UT Martin elevated him to fill its head coaching position. Now, it's unclear at this time who will take over the program in the wake of Stewart's sudden passing. Whoever it is will inherit a team that went 9-20 last season, but has plenty of talented stars, among them Parker Stewart, Anthony's son, who transferred from Pittsburgh in 2018 to play for his father. Stewart averaged 19.2 points per game season. Last season, actually. UT Martin coach Stewart passing away at the age of 50. Let's get ready to do this. It's the mini Sunday night recap. That's right. We go for a mini ha-ha here, kids. Finals, and let's go to Wake, of course. And let's begin with, my God, they did win. Lions beat Washington by a score of 30-27. Here's the reason why we call this a mini recap. Smith for Washington passed for 390 yards. Gibson, 13 rushing attempts for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. McLaurin, 7 receptions, 95 yards. For the Lions, Stafford, 276 yards, 3 touchdowns. Swift was truly Swift, 16 rushing attempts for 81 yards. Jones had 8 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. Packers beat the Jaguars 24-20. Luton for the Jags, 169 yards, 1 touchdown. Robinson, 22 rushing attempts, 109 yards. Chark, 4 receptions, 56 yards. For the Packers, the anointed Aaron Rodgers, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jones, 13 rushing attempts, 46 yards. Valdez-Scantling, 4 receptions, 149 yards, and a single TD. Tommy Buccaneer is back again, and so too are the Bucs. They defeated the Panthers 46-23. Brady passed for 341 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jones, 23 rushing attempts, 192 yards, 1 touchdown. Goodwin, 6 receptions, 92 yards. Now, for the Panthers, Bridgewater, 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. Davis, 7 rushing attempts for 32 yards and more, 4 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown. Giants over the Eagles, 27-17. Wentz for the Eagles, 208 yards, 15 rushing attempts, 85 yards. Rodgers, 4 receptions, 60 yards. For the Giants, Jones, 244 yards. He also had 9 rushing attempts for 64 yards and a touchdown. And Slayton went to the moon with 5 receptions, 93 yards. How do you like that? Browns, and my God, it's a simple score. Browns beat the Texans 10-7. Watson for the Texans, 163 yards, 1 touchdown. Johnson, 14 rushing attempts for 54 yards. Cobb, 3 receptions and 41 yards. Now for the Browns, Mayfield had 132 yards. Chubb, 19 rushing attempts, 126 yards, and a touchdown. And Higgins, 3 receptions, 48 yards. Cardinals over the Bills, 32-30. Allen for the Bills, 284 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had 7 rushing attempts for 38 yards. And Beasley, 11 receptions, 109 yards, and 1 touchdown. For the Cardinals, Murray, 245 yards and touchdown. Drake, 16 attempts, 100 yards. And Hopkins, 7 receptions, 127 yards, and a touchdown. Miami Dolphins over the Los Angeles Chargers, 29-21. Herbert for the Chargers passed for 187 yards, 2 touchdowns. Balaj, 18 rushing attempts for 68 yards, and Allen, 3 receptions, 39 yards, 1 touchdown. For the Dolphins, Tagovailoa, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ahmed, 21 rushing attempts for 85 yards and a touchdown. And Grant, 4 receptions, 43 yards, and a touchdown. We keep going. Raiders over the Broncos, 37-12. Locke wasn't a lock. 257 yards, 1 touchdown. Gordon attempts, 46 yards. And Judy, 4 receptions, 68 yards. For the Raiders, Carr, 154 yards. Jacobs, 21 rushing attempts, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. Walter, 3 receptions, 37 yards. Saints beat the 49ers 27-13. Mullins, 247 yards and a touchdown for the 49ers. McKinnon, 18 rushing attempts for 33 yards. And Ayuk, 7 receptions, 75 yards and a touchdown. For the Saints, Breeze, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Murray, 9 attempts, 57 yards. And Kamara, 7 receptions, 83 yards, and 1 touchdown. Rams beat the Seahawks 23-16. Wilson, 248 yards. He also had 8 rushing attempts at 60 yards. And Lockett, 5 receptions, 66 yards. On the Rams side, Goff, 302 yards. Akers, 10 rushing attempts, 38 yards. And Reynolds, 8 receptions, 94 yards. Steelers did it again. They keep winning. This time, their latest pelt was the Cincinnati Bengals, 36-10. Burrow, 213 yards, 1 touchdown. Perrine, 17 rushing attempts for 48 yards. And Higgins, 7 receptions, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. For Steelers, Roethlisberger, 333 yards, 4 touchdowns. Connor, 13 attempts, 36 yards. And Johnson, 6 receptions, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. In the rain. Oh, boy, was it a monsoon in Foxborough. Patriots over the Ravens, 23-17. Jackson, 249 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Ravens. He also had 11 rushing attempts for 55 yards. Snead had 5 receptions, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Patriots. Newton was newtastic. 118 yards, 1 touchdown. Harris, 22 attempts, 121 yards. And Meyer, 5 receptions, 59 yards. Colts over the Titans, 34-17. Phillip Rivers, 308 yards and a touchdown. Hines, 12 rushing attempts, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. Pittman, 7 receptions, 101 yards. On the other side, Titans, Tannehill, 147 yards and a touchdown. Henry, 19 rushing attempts, 103 yards. And Davis, 5 receptions, 67 yards. It was a good thing, wasn't it? Yes, indeed. And that's your NFL scores. The total Monday night quarterback tomorrow night following Monday Night Football. Please enjoy. Okay, let's keep on going here and talk about the Masters and the newest Ultra Masters, the man who would win the green jacket. And it was fantastic. When Dustin Johnson stepped to the first tee Sunday morning with a 4-shot lead at the 2020 Masters, he received only a smattering of applause. Various members of Augusta National, along with their spouses and some volunteers, clapped as the number 1 player on the planet tried to lock up the second major of his career. Now, up on the veranda beyond the big oak tree that shields the clubhouse from the first tree, a group of waiters and waitresses wearing green Masters logo masks oversaw the tee shot. They added to the applause. Johnson bumped his brother Austin's fist as the final round, the 84th Masters, began. 257 minutes later, he again bumped Austin's fist. They were on the 18th tee box, and Dustin had just obliterated his tee shot. Over the preceding 4 hours, his lead had increased by just 1 shot, but you can fit the World Golf Hall of Fame in the chasm between leading by 5 with 1 to go and leading by 4 with 18 left. They knew Dustin was about to add Augusta National to his now growing collection of major championships. There are a million reasons for which one roots for an athlete or team in the sport we love. Some are vapid, many are legitimate. The unifier is everybody loves a good story. Dustin Johnson, perhaps somewhat improbably, checks a lot of the easy to cheer for boxes. On Sunday, he may have checked the rest of them. The wheels wobbled a bit early as Johnson, chunked a chip the second hole into a bunker before recovering for par. He made 2 bogeys in his first 5 holes and saw his lead thin to 1 stroke entering the 6th. Memories of the 54-hole lead DJ's lost at majors started to creep into play. And incredible. DJ recovered with birdies at 6 and 8, taking a 2-stroke lead to the second 9. And as he sauntered from the ninth green to the 10th tee, a fellow golf scribe cackled, "Have you ever tried to walk like that?" he asked, pointing at DJ. "You can't do it. You're born with that." And wow. Johnson is a rarity in professional sports. Folks feel for him because of the heartbreak he experienced after so many years. I'll take your pick between Johnson grounding his club at the 2010 PGA Championship, the ghastly 82 in the finale at the 2010 US Open, and falling down the stairs at the 2017 Masters. There are plenty of others, but there's also earnestly sad. But people, as the comment about his gait suggests, also want to be him. Rarely do you get the empathy and idolization in equivalent doses. The amalgamation is an oddity, but it makes him an easy player for whom to cheer on. So does his greatness. DJ picked his spot, let birdies come to him at numbers 13 15, and lit up the second 9 with a 33. He closed in 68. Nobody in the history of Masters has ever touched 20 under on the leaderboard. He did it with a birdie on the 15th green as he walked to the 16th. He looked back at the big leaderboard overlooking a prior hole. Volunteers have been working those manually operated boards all week, maybe more for the ritual of it than for the information itself. They had slots for Cameron Smith open, about to put in the number of DJ's closest competitor all day. He turned away before they did. He didn't want to know. He wanted to stay in his world. Johnson had transformed himself from someone with the reputation of a blockhead to a clear thinker when it comes to how to work golf courses and how to mentally prepare for the physiological warfare of major championships. His physical transformation has been less obvious. He's always been gifted, but he's truly developed mentally. It's yet another reason you want to see him succeed. Johnson had a putt at 18 to go to 21 under. He missed it and settled for 20 under, the new Masters scoring record by 2 strokes. That one additional birdie would have given him the all-time major championship scoring mark. Instead, he tied for that record too. Now, given the circumstances, it was a low-key, humorous golf moment. He'd rather putt out and not have the final spotlight than sit there for 15 seconds trying to find his marker. He plays golf in some ways, although not many, the way we play golf. Congratulations, DJ. How's that green jacket feel? Anyway, there you go with that. We do have another little report in, and somewhat a disheartening one. The ultimate Hall of Famer, the man who is baseball legacy. Former Dodger manager and baseball legend Tommy Lasorda has been hospitalized per the team. The 93-year-old Hall of Famer is in intensive care, but he's resting comfortably, according to the Dodgers' official Twitter account. Dodgers had no further information available on Lasorda's hospitalization. As we all know, in 2012, at the age of 84, Lasorda suffered a heart attack. He was Dodgers manager from 76 through 96, winning 8 division titles, 4 NL pennants, and 2 World Series championships in 81 and 88. He was a 2-time Manager of the Year winner and managed 4 All-Star teams with 1,599 wins as a manager. Lasorda sits 22nd in MLB history in the category. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1997. Since retirement, he's had multiple roles with the Dodgers, including his current role, special advisor. His duties include evaluating and teaching minor league players, acting as an advisor and ambassador for the Dodgers' international affiliations. That's right. Excusez-moi. That is not bad. Okay. Um. Let me just answer this one person. Okay. Anyway, thank you. Okay. We got nothing to promote on YouTube except join Nick Ricada every Monday through Friday for Lost Blaney the Interwebs, midnight Eastern, only on the Ricada Law channel here on YouTube. Okay. Wow. We're at 107. We're going to try to make it to 130. If we hit early, hey, that's going to be fun to do. Alrighty. Let's go to our favorite little section, find out what's happening, if any, on the old awfulannouncing.com. And personally, I'm hoping something was big enough to add into the ceremonies of whatever it is we do. Let's see. Do we have anything? Nope, nothing going. Wow. This is a little strangeness here tonight. So instead of doing all that, let us entertain and go forth with our shout outs, and we'll hit the scoreboard. And I'm going to hit the shears this week. Ooh, excuse moi. Okay, let's say hi to Alan Oberoff, Brenda Dixon, Angela Peterson, Yvonne Marie, Joseph Radcliffe, Bruno Metzler, Christina Peterson, Amanda Mearns, Hilda Clark Bowen, Yuki Tanaka, Anne Marie Mann, Jay the Brain Man, Matthew Nichols, Jerry Nichols, Nancy Nichols, Deshaun Whipple, Bobby Strauss, Jeff Bundy, The Real Reffin Show, Ricky Pickrell, Michael Pickrell, Michael Pickrell, Danielle Wilcox Gravis, Scott Jones, Jacqueline Fleming, Sarah Chavez, Samantha Phillips, Samantha O'Neill, Casey N, Monica Cram, and January J. Keaton. Let's keep going. Robert Monk, Jennifer Torres, Mike Sparks. Yes, indeed. Mr. Magic, Mike Sparks. We also say hi to Joseph Yusuf Diaz. Excusez-moi. Myra Baxley Dawn, uh, Sarah uh, Sarah Baxley. We also say a little Haiti hi de ho to Marley Arthur Wiley, Jeff Rollo, Dale Sankey, Blind Lemon, George Templeton, Mr. and Mrs. Nellie K9, all my friends over there. Yes, indeed. We also say hi to Tyke Prado, to George Templeton, as always. Excuse me. Matt Zivich. Of course, the one, the only, Alex. Alex Sims, Audrey Dahlgren, Nick Mantis, all the gang there, TV6 Sports and TV6 News, all together now. Everybody sing. Myra Baxley, doing? How you doing? James Murph Dog Murphy, Marielle Lou from Fox 2, Melissa Wilson, Domily Keith, and a whole nice lot of people. Including, if you will excuse and Chris French, Chris Lewis, and what else is there? Joe Ranta, howdy do, and Siobhan Klepfler, and Donna Payne, and Rebecca Paul. Now, let's get over to our favorite place in the free world, and that is obviously Twitter. Here we go, Twitter. Here we go. That's right. Time for a little Twittergram. So here we go. Of course, we say hello to Nick Marquez. Double hello to David Marquez. To Sherry Jones, Peter Oeda, Louisa Fernanda, Erica, Renee Davis. Of course, Beth McLeod, Lena Gwynn, Tessa Barrera, Rebecca, Mandy Summers, Sierra Searcy, of course, Kelly, Casey Lennox, Sean Broyles, Lydia Cornell, Kellyanne Collins, that's Saucy Vixen, Lucy Nolan, Elaine Boozler, Brad Shepard, Wyatt Holiday, and of course, Peter Gilmore, and Charlie's London. That's on the Twitter side. And now we come to, of course, the beautiful and enchanting thing we like to call and of course we come to the gram. Instagram friends unite. How do? Now we'll give you some soccer scores or some scoreboard, and we'll say goodnight to you all. That's how we do things, and we do it with wildness. We say hello to the testacular Tessa Broussard. Hi. We also say hi to Alana Sarabia. Also to Claudia Treos. And whom else? Oh, I know who else. Yes, I do. Uh, who else but Jay and Dan? We also say hi to Francia Jones. And who else do we say hi to? But to Manuela Marchigane, Dorothy Malone, Kimberly Wells, Oreke, Stacy Hayes, Albany Irvin, Presley and Taylor, Tammy Futhi. We also have Emerald Morrow. And Courtney Lynn Elwood. And that's about it. Yes, that is. So, who's next? Simple. We've only got one segment left, and it's time that we do it. Here we go. Face to face. Couple of scoreboard spoons. That's right. It's time to take a look at the scoreboard before we say our good nights to you. Ooh. This is going to be a wild one, folks, because I don't know if we got much on the scoreboard, but we do. So let's get to it. Scoreboard time. There we go. Mew. All right. Time to give our little hurrah and do it proper. Here we go. Okay. In soccer, in the UEFA Nations League, League A, Netherlands over Bosnia Herzegovina 3-1, Belgium over England 2-0, Denmark over Iceland 2-1, Italy over Poland 2-0. In the B League, it was Slovakia over Scotland 1-0, Finland over Bulgaria 2-1, Turkey over Russia 3-2, Wales over Ireland 1-0, Austria over Northern Ireland 2-1, Czech Republic over Israel 1-0, Hungary and Serbia tied at 1. Romania and Norway were postponed. And in League C, North Macedonia over Estonia 2-1, Albania a 3-1 winner over Kazakhstan, Belarus down Lithuania 2-0, Armenia over Georgia 2-1, Greece over Moldova 2-0, and Slovenia 2-1 winner over Kosovo, way down in Kosovo. In basketball, League A in Italy, Brindisi over Sassari 187, Olympia Milano over Cantu 89-71, Varese over Vitris Roma 98-88, Trento over Brescia 80-73. In Spain, Spanish basketball action, Baskonia over Obradorio Cab 80-74. Unicaja over Gipuzkoa 104-69. San Pablo Burgos over Estudiantes 91-71. Tenerife over Gran Canaria 99-80. Murcia over Bilbao 73-63. In hockey, let's go to the Extraliga in the Czech Republic. Karlovy Vary over Litvinov 2-1. Liberec over Mladia Bolsa 4-3. Mountfield over Olomouc 4-0. Kometa Brno over Vitkovice 3-2. Plzeň over Česk Budějovice 5-1. Sparta Prague over Pardubice 3-1. Trinec over Ziln 5-2. And I think that's about it for a scoreboard. The only thing we got left to do is the AP top 25 college football poll, and that we do pronto. That we do now, and then we'll end it and give you all the excitement. Let's go to the 20. Let's count it down 25-1. And I'll tell you, we got some good time coming. So be happy we're here. That's right. Tomorrow we're back at our regular time at 11, right after, of course, Monday Night Football with more fun than a barrel full of minkies. So here we go. Let's give you the poll. 25 up, Louisiana, number 25. Number 24, North Carolina. 23, Texas. 22, Liberty. 21, Auburn. Northwestern, 20. USC, 19. Coastal Carolina, 18. Oklahoma, 17. Iowa State, 16. Marshall, 15. Iowa State, as I said, was 16th. Marshall, 15th. Oklahoma State, 14th. Oregon, 13th. Wisconsin, 12th. Georgia, 11th. And the top 10 are Indiana at 10th. Miami at 9. BYU at 8. Cincinnati in 7th. Texas A&M in 6th. Top 5 are Florida at 5. Clemson at 4. Ohio State 3. Notre Dame 2. And on top, number 1, 57 votes, Alabama. They done did it. And so have we, folks. So have we. We have done did it, and we are off the air early. Okay, man, we're getting good at this, except for our hair continuing to mess up with everything. I think I'm near mullet now, so I'll probably cut my hair in a mullet style. Tomorrow, it's my football, and we should get a relative feel about what's going to happen with the Michigan High School Athletics Association. Going to tell us if they're going to continue, because once again, our governor for the next 3 weeks has put us on lockdown. Oh, what a fun life. It's going to be in lockdown. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be back Monday night, hopefully better than ever. And until then, for everybody here and for a hairdresser that doesn't exist, and I wish it did. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And good night. This has been a presentation of Mr. Fine Creativity Productions for the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley. For everyone that's been a part of this madness, thanks for watching. We'll see you Monday night at 11:35 or following Monday Night Football with the Monday Night Quarterback and a whole lot more. Thank you, everybody, for watching. As always, may your favorite team always be winners, and America, wherever and whomever you may be.